it will be much more worse for Bangladesh cricket than it would be for world cricket if Bangladesh is sort of banned or something, right? Because Bangladesh as such is not really adding too much of value. At least the way
Should
it
be
was done
avoided.
was bad. The way it was done was bad. If
It's
they
very
had some
bad.
policy, they could have just said at the beginning that this guy needs to be removed. Now, the problem is, Rahul, that in retaliation of that, you step out of an ICC tournament. That is a big step. I have not heard ever of a board president being so utterly slanderous about their own player. So you cannot ever, I mean, while you say that you cannot expect this kind of thing happening in India, to saying what this gentleman said. ICC should play by their rules. Whatever is there in the ICC code of, I mean, whatever they
Yeah.
have a constitution, they have set of
Yeah.
rules, and whatever punishment a country will get for forfeiting a match without any really extraneous factor or really compelling factor. Because what factor do you think Bangladesh can cite, except the fact that one of our players was thrown out of a tournament which is not directly run by the Indian board?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another midweek show, Round the Clock Cricket. We review the second New Zealand India ODI, and we'll continue the discussion on the BCB fiasco regarding their travel to India in the T20 World Cup. We're joined by Ayan, Isanjan, and Sudeep. Starting off with Ayan fast. Ayan, you have been closely watching the movements of BCB. Today is a significant day. Uh, I would say the errant the board member, a very powerful board member close to Mohammad Yunus, has been suspended. I think this shows that where Bangladesh is different in general in the politics. In India, you will never think of Roger Binny or Saurav Ganguly or Mithun Minhas suspended by the board. I was just discussing before you came. So that is Bangladesh. But coming back to your thinking now that BPL has taken off, the players not willing to play. If Bangladesh forfeits this tournament, I have two questions for you. Is it bad for world cricket, given they are minnows? And number two, what do you think where the problem lies that this has been stretched too long? So two questions. Is it bad for world cricket? One, if this is a precedence. And now, because Australia has not come to Sri Lanka in 96, you remember that 96 World Cup when Australia forfeited. Nothing happened to them, Sena country. So is Bangladesh good enough to make a ripple? And number two is, is this something which is going to be a thing of the future again? Over to you, Ann.
So, see, it will be much more worse for Bangladesh cricket than it would be for world cricket if Bangladesh is sort of banned or something, right? Because Bangladesh as such is not really adding too much of value, in the sense they are not really a very serious opposition in any other country except their own. And they've been around for a pretty long time, but they really have not produced some really significant world beating players, right? So they have not been able to produce any kind of cricketing excellence, which is really comparable to one of. I mean,
Except
there have
maybe
been Shakib's.
Shakibul, which is
Yeah,
very,
that's
very
what I
few.
was coming to that. I was just
Very
going to say
few, very few.
maybe, yeah, Shakib is where is there. Then maybe Mustafizur, a
And
couple
Tamim,
of.
Tamim,
Tamim,
yeah.
yeah, Tamim. I mean, these
Three.
three, four. But then, would you ever think of any World 11, Rahul, ever with a Bangladeshi player? I mean, you would probably not even keep them in an extra, right? Given what Shakib is,
Only
maybe in the
Shakib.
subcontinent,
Yeah.
if you have a tournament, you can think of including Shakib at his prime, not now. When he was in his
No.
prime,
But
he was
as an
probably
all-time
good.
11, yes, you were right. And too little, too less. Too
Too
little, too
little, too
less.
less, right? And then here, if you very sort of if you look at this whole case without any biases, I mean, the fact that Mustafizur has been removed from IPL, that is, I mean, IPL that way is a private league, right? It is run by, it's not that per se, it is not something that BCCI controls. So Mustafizur being removed, I mean, in
But
sort of
this
retaliation
is a
of that,
BCCI affiliated tournament. It's an
affiliated, I
affiliated.
know, yeah, somewhat, but still, it's not a national thing or something like that. I mean, they have, it's in their discretion to do whatever they want. Of course, I'm not going to the morality of that. That whole incident, we have discussed at length, and we have thought that
Yeah,
it was something that, at least the way
should
it
be
was done
avoided.
was bad. The way it was done was bad. If
It's
they
very
had some
bad.
policy, they could have just said at the beginning that this guy needs to be removed. I mean, we will not
Removed
allow.
from the auction.
That's
Exactly what
something.
Ishanjan was saying. Yeah, he shouldn't be
Absolutely,
brought to the
right?
table. He shouldn't be brought to the table
Yes.
at all.
Yes. Now, but the problem is, Rahul, that the in retaliation of that, you step out of an ICC tournament. That is a big step, no? I mean, and that, see, and you cannot absolutely say that India is a security worry. I mean, when Australia said that they would not tour and all, they actually cited, probably valid reasons where terrorism could be an issue and all that. Here, you cannot really say that. This is more of an ego fight, and that is not going to be allowed by any international sports
Good.
organizations. So you cannot really have Bangladesh you cannot have any sort of consideration for Bangladesh here. So, and I think the players also realize that. No, I mean, the way if I mean the ones who will really suffer are the Bangladeshi players, their audience. So I mean, see, cricket is a massively passionate game in Bangalore. So if Bangladeshis do, and Bangladesh is where their team wins, and their people are really extremely enthused, frenzied, crowd. You have really frenzied people around, and denying them of any international match of success would be a national debacle, is what I feel, right? So I don't think Bangladesh can, the world cricket, I don't think would care too much. I mean, I think what would really be bad is, who would suffer is Bangladesh itself. And as for the second question, I think I have not heard ever of a board president being so utterly slanderous about their own player. I mean, what he said about Tamim is, I mean, Tamim is one of their best players ever. And I think he made a very nasty comment about this Nazimul. I think he made a very nasty comment about Tamim. And so absolutely every single cricketer got very, very strongly against him. So you cannot ever, I mean, while you say that you cannot expect this kind of thing happening in India where Roger Binney or Agarkar is removed, neither will you have Agarkar or somebody's ever even coming close to saying what this gentleman said. And very clearly, he absolutely lost the trust of the entire cricketing fraternity. I mean, the cricketers, I think, went completely against him. So I don't think the board. In fact, if you really ask me, I think this is the first sign of Bangladesh's surrender. I think that this is the start of the process where Bangladesh would probably accept that, okay, things have gone enough, and they would probably try to save some face, maybe ask some other venue or whatever. I don't think these matches will be shifted out of India. But what I know is that CAB has sold tickets also for the 26th January match, which means CAB, at least the vibes that the Indian board is getting, is that things are going to happen absolutely as scheduled. And I think it's probably going to be a matter of time when, I mean, Bangladesh will just probably, throw in its gauntlet. I don't think they will have the guts to forfeit an ICC tournament and thus risk the possibility of them getting shunted and thrown out of world cricket.
And second question to you, and final one today is, and if Bangladesh decides not to come, number one, will ICC uh, throw them out of ICC, which it looks like we had this discussion in the group, and will this be the end of Bangladesh in Test cricket at least, if they are going to be relegated for this?
I see. ICC should play by their rules. Whatever is there in the ICC code of, I mean, whatever they
Yeah,
have a constitution, they have set of
yeah.
rules, and whatever punishment a country will get for forfeiting a match without any really extraneous factor or really compelling factor. Because what factor do you think Bangladesh can cite, except the fact that one of our players was thrown out of a tournament which is not directly run by the Indian board? Do you think that is a solid enough reason? So if they are forfeiting without a very very compelling reason, then ICC will just go by its constitution, by its they have a statutes. I'm sure they have rules, and as per the rules, the punishment will be meted out. And I think it's going to be a pretty severe punishment. And the severe punishment, if Bangladesh would probably be suspended minimum, I think, for maybe an amount of time. I hope it's not a permanent suspension. That I don't think will happen, but maybe they'll be suspended for a year, which will be very
Yeah, I
disastrous for
think
Bangladeshi
they will
cricket.
be suspended for a year. I think also they will suspend it for a year.
And that will
And
be
what Shai
yeah.
and what Shayak was saying, that they might be taken off the street, they might be stripped of test status. That is could be very, very
That
dangerous.
is the end of Bangladeshi cricket. But okay, but one would also say that Bangladesh is not really a potent force in tests at all.
Yes, and
It
as
is
of now,
in
yeah.
as of now, man, it is probably going to get worse. Which
Mm,
promising cricket are you seeing? Which
mm.
person? I mean, see, at one point of time, one could think of Shakib and maybe Mustafizur who could be
I
extras
mean,
in.
yes, between
Now,
2010,
no
11,
one.
12, yeah.
Now,
2010
no
to 11.
one.
Oh,
You
no,
have
no.
no one. You have no one. Even in their own backyard, they would probably be thrashed by India or like, Australia or even New Zealand. I mean,
It's
it's
because
like,
Afghanistan,
uh,
Ireland, Italy now coming up. I think Bangladesh, if they moved out, overall kitty of ICC remains same with 14 test
yes.
playing nations.
But at the same
Italy
time,
is pushing.
yeah, yeah. But see, one thing that ICC might consider is that anyway, cricket is a very sort of a minuscule sport in
Minuscule.
terms of
Binary,
participation,
almost
right?
not a binary,
Very,
but
very
almost a
few
binary
countries
sport.
play.
Yeah.
In that, if they're now going to throw out a country which has been around for the last almost like what, 30 years, 35 years, because I think they have obtained test status in the late
2000,
90,
2000,
2000,
2000.
yes.
The
They were
first test
playing,
they played against Saurav
yes,
Ganguly's
2000.
team, Saurav's
Yes,
team.
yes.
Saurav was the
Last
captain. Yeah.
25 years. Last 25
25
years,
years.
they've been around. And stripping them from test status itself, I think I think it's a very hard step. And I don't think ICC would do that. What I feel is that they might be stripped of all forms of cricket, international cricket, for maybe a year or two or whatever. But I don't think, if you really ask me, I don't think it'll go to that. I think the first signs of
They will
capitulation have
buckle
come.
down. You are saying is buckling down.
Yes, this because this gentleman being removed is a very clear signal, right? And the players want to play. Because T20 Bangladesh on their good day actually can be a pretty, it's a like they
This
can be a dark
important
horse.
force can be a potent force.
Dark horse, right? They
Yeah.
can be like a dark horse. I mean, they
Yes.
have good quality, some good spin bowlers. They have sort of some good batters, and on a good day, they can actually produce an upset. So, this is the one form of cricket where they can still compete to some extent. Other forms, I think, at the moment they are bad, really bad. I think, right? So, I would say that the players would still want to have, and the players want to play, right? I mean, they would not like to forfeit their careers. So I think Bangladesh will capitulate, if you ask me.
So final verdict, because I especially wanted your comments on this. Final verdict from Ayan Banerjee is they will capitulate and they will play.
Yes. I
Thank
don't think. See, because I think the fact that CAB is selling tickets, right? So there is some kind of indication that
internal
things would.
communication that they will play. Yes. Thank you so much, Ayan. Thanks.